hit record so we won't miss it this time because we didn't record the last one. If not, I kind of wanted to maybe piggyback off of like what we were talking about earlier, if we want to continue. Tammy, you want to repeat what you said? Because Beth wasn't here and maybe she's got some input on it. You can continue on it.
Sure. I'll share what I put in the chat, and Beth, you might have seen it. I just kind of piggybacked on a couple of comments that I had made, and then I heard Nancy make some reference to having a new client and that she thought they would be friends, and then she's like, wait, we can't be friends because you're not supposed to be friends with your clients. And then it was just like it hit me, as I explained, I was journaling. I was contemplating how to get started with doing it, thinking that there's some way, and it's just all these social norms that in some moments I listen to, and others you're just like, this is just a reaction, and they're frustrating, I guess. So that was my take.
It's okay.
Angela, I really appreciated what you shared, because I truly that's always where I want to go. And then I'll mention that I've had maybe one or two situations where sometimes you feel like, not that, I don't know if this is the right term, but you feel like you got burned. Like, I was really good friends with somebody, we worked together, and then things kind of like dived, and then you question whether we were too close, there's just too much. So then I thought, by me moving into a different job, which wasn't the sole reason, but I thought, well, maybe our friendship would be repaired a little bit. Like we wouldn't have so much of the work. And that didn't, but again, could have been just that situation. So then I'm paranoid for when I go into the new workplace. This was years ago, but I was like a little bit more reserved. And then slowly I recognized there's a lot of cool people, and we clicked, and then I started forming some friendships. But they're not as heavy, or as, I am still a little cautious. But I'm not an entrepreneur, and I don't know if that makes a huge difference, but sometimes there's that control or lack of, that you can't just choose who you work with.
Yep. I feel that I can piggyback off of that, because in the entrepreneur world, and I've actually been pivoting things at work to build relationships, even with competitors, because I have mentioned that I wanted to tour some communities around here, and everybody's like, that's not a good idea. And I was like, why not? Like, why not build a community inside the community that we live in and change that? Like, why can't two businesses that do the same thing be friends? Why can't you exchange ideas and use that? Like, hey, maybe this particular person can't use this exact thing, and you refer them over to them, and vice versa. Like, mend, or what's that called? Bridge the gap. But I think in entrepreneurship, that can be really easy too, because people get in their head about who's their competition and who isn't. Nobody's your competition, no matter what you're doing. People typically buy into things because they like you. They like your personality. They trust you. They feel your energy. It has nothing to do with, you can have two people that do the same exact thing, same exact whatever it is, sitting right next to each other, and you can have the same pitch line, and they're still gonna have to make a choice. It's just who aligns better with them. Sorry, the Barbies are cliff diving in the background, so if you're hearing the crazy noise.
And also thinking about, are we talking business to business, or business relationship to business relationship? Are we talking clients? If you have clients, and if you're coaching somebody or guiding somebody, or whatever the case may be, because I know, like, I totally agree, Jenna, with what you're saying. Like, yeah, we're not in competition with anybody, we come to the table as who we are, and that is what sells, or serves. the other. But if it is a client relationship, like I know I've been seeing my spiritual director for many, many years, and sometimes it has kind of crossed the line of like, because we know each other so well, you know, but it also, like if we keep crossing the line too much, which we have, and we know to pull back, you know, it does kind of not fracture our relationship, but what we're there to do. So that's just what stirred up in me.
Yeah, I think that alignment, you know, when you do find someone who, you know, one, you've got that dynamic, you kind of gravitate towards certain people. And it's a lot of how they make you feel when they're supporting you, or just your interactions, they're positive, you feel they're genuine. So that's big for me.
Anybody else have anything to add on there? Or know who's taking over the next hour by chance? Okay, no worries. We will pause